Howdy doody. Welcome back to the ranch. My name is Mick. This, my 2003, I keep wanting to say 1980 something because I'm not used to saying 2000 something. 2003 Dodge Ram 2500 with the 5.9 Cummins in it. This project today is going to be the last project on this truck for a little bit. Aww. I know. But it's okay. I gotta get this thing on the road. I gotta start using it. I have a project about an hour drive south of here that I really need to use this as a tool truck on. That'll be coming up on the channel soon. But long story long, today we get started on the last project on this truck for a little bit. There's more to do on this thing. There's more body work and paint and all that fun stuff that I've been talking about that we still want to do. But today we start with the lights. So I've got some plans with the lights for this thing. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Sick and tired of looking at these blacked out lenses. I'm just not a fan. The permanent color of this truck is not going to be black, so I guess it doesn't much matter for the future. But in the grand scheme, I'm just not a big fan of blacking out trucks anymore in my older age here. So we're going to go back to not stock, but a stock look. And what I mean by that is, for the taillights and the headlights and the front grille, these are aftermarket parts. However, they have a stock look to them, but with the more recent Dodge Ram pickups, there you go, that would be this one right here, kind of have the look of the more recent pickups to them. I think they're a little smoked, but not blacked out. So they're a little bit brighter, you know. So we're gonna go with these for the tail lights, along with the headlights, another aftermarket part, but stock look, just more updated. That's kind of what I want to do with this truck, is have the internals of a 2003, more mechanical build. However, the exterior I kind of want to update and make it have the feel of a modern Dodge Ram. So we're going to start with the taillights first. Reason being is because it's a quick hitter, should be the easiest of the grouping. The headlights should be relatively easy too, but I also need to wire in the grille to the running lights. So it's a little more involved up there. So we're going to get started with these first. Real nice and simple. You basically, just a couple screws I think, and you pop them out and pop these in. You should basically be done. So hopefully that's the case. Let's get started. I popped my tailgate off. Not a necessary step, but for filming and everything, it just makes it easier, and it's really simple to pop them out. You know, where is it? There it is. First impression. Obviously these are aftermarket lenses as it is, so someone's been in here before. I should say, I apologize, I don't know how the wind is going to be. It's really windy today, but the sun's out, so I can't waste the day. So we're getting started regardless of the wind. I'm going to take a guess and say that's not the stock screw here, and judging by the second hole, I'm going to say that there's supposed to be two, but that's all right. The other side, there are two, but again, check this out. Custom U.S. penny washers. That is officially a first for me. Never have I ever seen someone use pennies as a makeshift washer, but whatever works, you know. So I'm gonna pop that screw out of there, get these lenses out, pop the new ones in. It should be as easy as that. Leave that there. I gotta find another screw, and even though this isn't stock, it did work. Maybe it is stock. I doubt it is, but Anyway, I'm gonna find a matching screw real quick. That looks so much better to me. Now, I say all this stuff as an opinion. I'm just going to get that out of the way right now. Things like aftermarket lenses are such an opinionated based thing. That sounded like it wasn't good English. Anyway, this is my style. If it's not yours, that's fine. But I like updating things and making them look like an updated truck. That's kind of my MO when it comes to trucks that are dated but aren't vintage yet, you know what I mean? So this is what we're running with, and I like it. And that's all that matters. Lightly used black taillights for a 2003 Dodge Ram for sale. Cool. I'm thinking that looks a little bit better than before. Okay, moving on to the front. I think a lot of people quite like the stock grille on these Rams. I, for one, do not. So I am going to change that, but I guess I should start with the headlights because the box is on top. The headlights, I don't hate these. I think they're okay. They're pretty smoked, but they're not totally blacked out. Let me grab my dog real quick. She's barking for daddy.
You're not my dad!
Anywhooser, what I've decided to do on the fronts, just to go along with the rears, is update them with an aftermarket part. So I'm going with these puppies right here. These kind of have that same look as the new Rams, which, you know, again, that's exactly what I'm trying to do here, is just kind of make it look updated. The reason why I started on the rears and now I'm moving up here is because I think I'm gonna have to wire these in. No, those should just be plug and play. I think these are just plug and play. But the grill, this is where everything gets a little more different, and this is where people are gonna have their opinions. I'm going with the Raptor style, the 3 LEDs in the front, the horn down the middle, and then of course it comes with the Ram lettering in a separate box because of copyright. So I'm glad those pop out because I think I'm going to spray these. The plan is to spray the letters like I did in the back, do a bronze side profile of the letters. I think that'll make them pop a little bit and make them just a little bit different. And then the grill has so many screws to attach it. As I'm looking at this, there's like 20 of them. That's cool. But the wiring harness, then you have to wire into your running lights, which I should be able to just do right into my new headlights. So it shouldn't be that bad, but I'll walk you through a little bit just in case you're wondering how to do it. Oh, and it looks like it actually comes with hardware too, which is kind of nice in case you break the hardware that's coming off of the old one.
Huge steaming ball of foreshadowing.
That'll come in handy. Lots of these bolts got to come out to get this grill out, so I'm just gonna get to it. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, something like that. Lost one already, that's cool. Oh, just felt great falling in my mouth. Why are you not coming out?
Huh? Broken. Sorry about that, sport.
Yeah. So apparently people have done this once or twice and realized that all those top bolts just completely shear off. I'll save that for a wall hanger. I gotta get these old ones out of here still. All right, didn't even have to use any schmutz. Okay. First impressions, I will say, it's a good looking grill, but these pins are super, super flimsy. Like, if you make one wrong move, they're gonna break. That seems like I'm forcing it. Ugh, I don't like that at all. This is what you get when you go cheap aftermarket, people. Okay, the middle bar is definitely the one that's causing me issue. And what I don't want to do is suck this in and break the grill, because it's not, let's just say this, it's not built well, it's thin. If this is gonna hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. Minor adjustment, but I think that's all I really needed. It's still pushing out a little bit, but feels a lot better. Okay, I jumped ahead and started painting letters so those can dry while I'm finishing this, but so far, honest review. Don't buy this, it is a piece of junk. I will not be linking this in the description. You don't want it. It is not worth the savings that you're going to have. Yeah, it is a cheaper grill, but not by much, and it is absolute junk. Basically, the reason why I'm saying that is because the fasteners on the back side, the ones up top, the ones that were breaking, the reason that they were breaking was, these are the OEM fasteners, and the way that these work is you take your stock screw here, and it screws into plastic. Okay, and that's how it holds. So the reason they were breaking so easy is just because as soon as you start putting any sort of torque on this thing, it just pulls out, which is not a great system either. However, it's better than this. On this grill, they give you holes with what I'm assuming their intention was to screw the new fastener that they give you, which is the same style, into these, but the holes are too big. And don't tell me that there should be something behind it, because it's probably really hard to see. There's no room to put anything. This thread, nice catch, Mick, I know. This thread doesn't even make it all the way through the hole. You can't even, there's no thread on the back side that you could thread into. And there's no room to put, say even your stock clips back here, or the clips that they give you, which are little tiny things, which I'm assuming are supposed to be here, but they're so small, which brings me to my next point. They're so small that if you were to put these in, it would only cover about halfway across the hole, so garbage as well. Luckily, I was able to salvage the old clips. I'm going to be able to make this work. My plan is I'm going to use the stock hardware on the bottom, and then on the top, I have these sheet metal screws in stock that are number 14s by 3/4 inch, and those will thread into the plastic. So I'll just be able to screw them from the back side. That should work out okay. The only thing is, though, just like the stock setup, once you thread it in, you know, it's plastic, so it'll pretty easily strip out. So we got to be pretty cautious putting them in. Regardless, that's what we're going to be doing. Like anything, if you get a little bit creative, you can make just about anything work. It's just, how creative do you want to be, you know, for saving 40 bucks or whatever I saved on this, you know. Okay. Not too shabby. But yeah, definitely not worth saving the 40 bucks. Don't do what I did. What you didn't see is me getting frustrated because I was mounting this up and then I cut the clip because I realized I had to adjust these two bars as well. So I heat those up, whacked them with the hammer, and it all kind of sat in place a little bit better. And it's okay. I mean, the body line isn't perfect, but it's okay. I can definitely live with that. So let's move on. I bet my letters are dry by now, so I can mount those up and then we could throw the headlights in. All you're doing here is they have two little nubbies on the back that set into the grill and just have some screws that tie it in. At least one thing's going right. Yep. That bronze looks good. It's a mild undertone, but if you're looking at it, it's a nice little touch. Okay, so here's your wiring here. You just got 3 plugs for each LED and a positive and a ground that we're gonna wire into our running light. So we'll snap these into place first. And then all I'm doing here is I'm gonna take my wire and I'm just gonna run it through the inside of the hood here and pop it out in the corner. So I'll have a little bit right there. Maybe I'll zip tie it to the hood hinge and run it through the fender well and pop her out here where the rest of my wiring is. Lady. She's gonna start howling. That feel good? All right, glad you're happy. So here's the deal. This is the way to wire it. If you would wire it a different way, I'm not sure how you would do it with opening and closing the hood and everything. They short you on wire by like a foot. I definitely can't tie into the loom anywhere else, so I gotta extend it down to here. So it looks like I'm gonna be doing some soldering. Okay, well, there's actually a little bolt here for a ground conveniently located right at the end of my wire. So I'm just gonna wire my ground into here and only extend the positive wire. Just like so, like that.
Couple white onions, like so, like that.
Is it safe to solder on top of a battery? because I just did.
Because that's my business.
This is literally how short I was, by the way. I think this is even too long, but better safe than sorry. Okay, with that done, I'm pulling out my meter because I got to find out which wire out of these three is the positive for my running lights. So in order to do that, I'm just going to hook my black end to ground, turn my running lights on, and just probe all three. Once I see 12 volts, I know that's my positive. All right, running lights are on. Got my black lead hooked to ground. Hopefully you could see this here just to see what I'm looking at. Okay, it looks like my left is a constant. I'm getting 6 volts though. I wonder if that battery's kind of dead. Honestly, it could be. The middle, I don't get anything with the key off, but with the key on and the running lights on, I get voltage there. So the middle is my running light, and then the right side, I don't get nothing. I got my new wire sitting here. I'm just gonna pick a good spot with the red wire. That makes sense. See, and this is what I mean by good spot. This wire was nicked right here. You could see it's a little bit corroded. So what I'm going to do is, that's the spot that I'm going to pick. I'm going to snip it right there and solder this wire into that spot and then re-insulate it, because that could have caused me issues down the road. And fortunately, that's also the only spot that the wire is nicked right there. So I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone by cutting the wire to fix it, but also while it's open, splicing my new wire into it. Okay, I swapped out my bulb, and now we are plugging and playing. I'm going to throw this in for now just to test it, and then I'll stick this. But I just want to make sure all my wiring is correct. I did find an extra bolt to put in here, so that's good. I'm going to throw in my other side, and then we could test it. Had to get a little creative with that one too, adding washers and things. These lights weren't cheap though. That was kind of a pain, not gonna lie, but was it worth it? Yeah, I think so. That looks good. Let's turn the key, see what happens. Running lights. Oh. It did some sort of dance that I didn't know about, but that was pretty cool. Oh, these are working too? Nice. Oh, I just realized I have a marker light out up there. Well, that's a relief. What about my headlights? Headlights work. Turn signal. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that they were sequential either. Cool. All right, well, that's as far as I can go for now. I'm still waiting on another package with some more lights. I'm actually going to be doing, this is probably annoying sitting here, yeah. So the plan is I'm going to wait for this package that has some more lights in it. I'll take you through it when I get it, but I'll see you then. For me, it might be a couple days. For you, it'll be right now. And we're back. A little bit later than I intended. as you can probably tell by my mustache, it's been a couple days. And by days, I mean a week or two. I have other projects going on. I've been in between all of them recently, which is great. But this one got put on the back burner for a minute. But we're back. And I have been waiting for this day because I am so excited to see these things on the truck. These lights that I'm about to share with you came from a company called Novsight. I'm going to be honest, I already opened the package because of reasons that I'll share in a little bit. So I've already seen these things, and they are so nice. So let's open this thing up, see what we got. I'll take you through the plan. All right. So here's what we're doing. Installation manual in case we need it. We have 2 sets of lights here.
2 shots of vodka.
And I gotta figure out which is which because I can't remember. But I have a set of spotlights as well as a set of fog lights. Fog lights are gonna go on the front of the truck. Spotlights are gonna go on the back. The reason why I'm doing this, the set of fog lights on the front and the spotlights on the back. I want to be able to use the fog lights on the front for driving. I have brights, obviously, but I also want to be able to use them for off-road purposes sometime at night, and you need to have a little bit better visibility, as well as using them for like projects in front of me. But as far as projects go, I would much rather flip the truck around and point a spotlight or two at whatever I'm working on, because I have my toolbox back there, my compressor. The plan for placement is going to be in the back, so I'll be able to see everything. I'll be able to see everything in the bed of my truck. I'll be able to see what I'm working on. Those are really, really going to come in handy, so I'm excited to throw these on. Apologies ahead of time, by the way. We are in the heat of allergy season. Although I would prefer this over working in the snow, it doesn't beat the snow by much because I am miserable with all the pollen in the air. But that's okay. So, as far as, whoa, wind, calm down. You're blowing pollen in my face and you're blowing my directions everywhere. As far as these are concerned, like I said, I already opened these up because I wanted to plan for a few things, but let's pop one of these open. Okay, so this is the set that I did not have open before. We got our wiring with a switch, which, as you know from previous projects, I am not going to use this, so I'm actually going to cut into this and splice. Nice, hefty set of wiring. Comes with a relay. That's great. I was planning on putting one of those in there myself, so I'll be able to mount this relay. I'm assuming with these, their plan is to have you mount direct to battery for the positive. But I will confirm that. I'm not opposed to that, but we'll see what I end up doing. You got amber covers on them if you want to put those on there. Hardware and your mounting bracket. Loving the look of this. I think it's aggressive looking. It's going to look great on the truck. The lights themselves, you can leave the covers on if you want. I might leave them on the back. I'm not sure. But look at this thing.
Hey, would you look at this? You know what I mean?
I mean, that is an aggressive... I wish you could feel it. They are beefy. Real solid feel to them. Really look like a quality light. I'm excited to see these things on. I'm really impressed by the wiring, to be honest. As I was looking at these, I realized that on the box, it has your different lights here. So this one is obviously my floodlight here. My other set is the fog light. So obviously with these lights, they're not vehicle specific, so they come with a mounting bracket for the light, but in order to mount this on your car or truck, you have to either mount it directly to the vehicle or buy an aftermarket bracket. In my case, I did neither one of those things. I decided to get a little bit creative and I made some mounting brackets for myself. And you'll notice I painted them in that same bronze color that I'm painting all of my accents on this truck with, so it all kind of coincides with each other. These are gonna be for the front. I'll show them on the truck here in a minute. They were actually some old crappy brackets from the F550 project that I kind of liked the shape of. So I cut them up, bent them up, threw a coat of paint on it, and called it good. Fun fact about these 3rd gen Dodge Rams is they do not make an aftermarket bracket that mounts under the hood and pops up by the windshield. So that's why I made those. These are for the backs. I don't love them, but again, just getting a little creative. It's just a steel strap that I cut out, welded together, and basically a little box here, and I'm gonna take my mounting bracket and mount the lights like so. And I'll show you where these go in a second. So that's all I'm gonna do for mounting. Let's jump over the truck and I'll show you what we got going on. Okay, so just a little dry fitment here just so you can have an idea. This is what we're doing on the front. Bracket slips in. There's a bolt under the cowl here that was existing to the truck. So normally with these brackets that you see on different off-road trucks and such, the bracket jumps down and actually mounts under the hood here with the actual hood hinges. I bought a set of brackets to a newer generation Ram that I could find, and they weren't even close to working out. The amount of fabrication that I would have had to do to those to make them work would have been more than just getting a little creative and making something like this work. This bracket should be more than enough to do what it's supposed to do, and I think it's gonna look good in that spot. I think that's pretty much right where it would have been with one of the actual aftermarket brackets. So that's the front. Really happy with this. The rear, here's my thought process. I didn't want to just mount this direct to the bed because I wanted some height to it so it could shine down. I feel like if it was mounted to the bed, it would have gone too far, you know. It wouldn't have had the angles, you know what I mean? So I had to do something. I'm not the most creative person in the world when it comes to aesthetically pleasing items. So I do my best. I made this little triangle unit, whatever you want to call it. Trapezoid? It's a trapezoid. Painted it that same bronze color as the wheels. It looks okay. It's doing the thing, you know, so it's alright. You know, good enough for who it's for, is what they say. It's in the right spot is the important part, so I'll be able to, from here, angle it so it's shining through here, you know what I mean? And I'll be able to see everything in my bed and my toolbox, as well as whatever project is behind me. So that should work out all right. Wiring wise, I'll be able to, I left it open in the back, so I'll be able to get to my bolts. Wiring I can run down the bedside and then follow the same pattern that I did with the radio and run it through here, follow the same wiring along, come through here and find my wires for my switches that I put in earlier. So, all in all, it's going to be functional, and it'll look good enough. So I'm going to get to mounting those. I got to drill some holes in the bedside, and then I got to run some wiring, mount my relays, and this project should be done. So let's get to it. All right, here's the deal. I have a million excuses as to why I'm sitting here in the dark wrapping this video up with minimal footage on me installing these lights. But it all starts with my own stupidity. I was planning on doing a little more in-depth install on just footage of me installing the brackets and, you know, drilling the holes in the bed for the brackets in the back, running the wires for the spotlights and the fog lights. Everything just seemed to go completely wrong. I was having wiring issues based on how I wanted to do it. I wanted to customize the wiring and not just install the wires how they come. Reason being is, well, let me show you. On the truck, we've got our fronts mounted on the brackets that I made and the rear's mounted. So I ran these just like I did for the reverse camera. I brought these two wires together, brought them underneath, zip tied them along that same loom down there, and popped them up through here and run up here. So I already had this wired, and I left myself my wires here. I actually originally had them down here, but I shortened them up and put them here so I have access to the splice through this panel here. If you would like to see how that wiring is, I'm not going to go through it again. Just watch the other video. It's on this head unit that I installed from a Toto with a reverse camera. I wired the camera into these switches up here. Here's how these brackets ended up, by the way. So I painted them that same bronze color. I think it you know, all the accents tie in really well together. Close proximity to my hood as well, so I'm glad that worked out. So under the hood here, I have my wires coming through the firewall. These two wires split off and feed my front lamps. And the way that I wanted to do this, and I was trying to figure out how to do it, was I had my wires running under the battery, and I would have liked to, because there's open spaces for relays, I would have liked to tap into that, but unfortunately they make it near impossible. Maybe it is impossible to tie new relays into that box. I don't know how to do it. I couldn't figure it out, so I just left it. What I ended up doing then was I just attached the two new relays to the existing box here, ran my positive wires with the fuses to this post here, and grounded them out to my common ground for the battery here. It is very simple, and if you're going to install it out of the box, how they tell you in the instructions, it is very simple. I was overcomplicating it. I wanted to make things my own and tidy up the wiring as best I could. It still is tidy. You know, I still think I did a pretty good job for what it is, but my vision was a little more clean cut, and unfortunately I couldn't make it happen. Where that led me to then was fighting rain and fighting my fuse box here. I took this in and out so many times that I ended up having wiring problems where I was turning the truck on and I was having loose wires, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was going on. But I finally figured out that it was just my main power supply to the fuse panel. It had a bad connection and a bad ground just from me pulling it in and out, you know, 15 times or whatever I ended up doing. So, long story long, the lights work. Tell me that isn't cool. I'll call you a liar. This is awesome. The thumbnail picture that I took a little bit earlier. Ooh. I don't know how you don't look at lights like these and think to yourself, hey, it looks professional, it looks clean, it doesn't look like, it doesn't look too much, you know, it's not overbearing. It's just a nice, clean look. But I'll also take you to the back and show you these spotlights back here. Let me flip these on. So again, the way that I did this was I wired my lamps, my new lamps, into these toggle switches up here. This is my backup camera, and then these are my fronts and these are my rears. I'm going to label those later. I was planning on doing that in this video. Obviously that did not work out. So let me set you up back here. Ready? Bang! This is exactly what I was doing this project for. I'll be able to throw my tailgate down, open up my toolbox. I'll be able to see all my tools back here. I'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing behind the truck. This is gonna be absolutely phenomenal. I also fixed my tailgate because it wasn't closing properly. So now I don't have to slam it shut. Cat's pajamas is what they call it. So there you have it. Fortunately and unfortunately, I get to close this video out by being in the dark. I was planning on doing that, but like I said, I apologize. I was really hoping to get a little bit more footage of the install. It's just the way that I was doing it, it ended up being an absolute debacle and fighting the weather. I mean, it's been raining like crazy here. It's just been a very wet spring. So anyway, with that, I'm thoroughly pleased. As a general recap, I'll link the lights that I used. Oh, I forgot to show you the tail lights. These things are sweet. I'll press the brake pedal too. There's brakes, and those are my hazards. So real clean cut, super happy with those. Anyway, so as I was saying, super happy with all the lights. The grill is the only thing that I would not recommend. It's cheap, you know. It's not made out of quality material or anything like that. It does the job, it does the thing, but there were higher quality options for, again, it was like an extra 40 bucks. So I'll link the headlights, taillights, and the fog lights and floodlights in the back. Highly recommend all of them. Also want to thank Novsight for sending out the fog lights and the floodlights in the back. They also provided me with a discount code for those of you that are watching. I will link it here as well as in the description. Highly recommend those. I mean, I am thoroughly impressed with those lights. I would have been okay with something you know, a little more my speed, you know, like the grill. But just in general, these things surpass my expectations by a mile. I mean, they're heavy, well made. The lights are crisp and clean. They come with those amber covers, which I really like, as well as a hard cover. Yeah, really well done. So if you're interested in those, go ahead and click the link. You'll get a discount to those lights as well. They have other lights available, different sizes and shapes and all that fun stuff. So help yourself is what I'm saying. With that brings this project to a close for now. If you had a sharp eye, you probably noticed the interior is changing a bit on this truck as well. However, that's not going to come out for a little bit unless you want me to expedite that process to show you how I'm installing that interior, the seats, and we're also going to get some new carpet as well because the carpet in this truck is disgusting.
Disgusting!
Other than that, I really needed to bring this video to a close tonight because tomorrow morning I head out about an hour south of here to start up another project. Hopefully that video will be coming out soon, but I guarantee you that there will be another project coming up that I picked up at auction and she's going to be a peach. You guys are going to be excited to see that one. So plenty of stuff coming up for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate all of you that are following along and are subscribed to the channel. If you aren't subscribed, do me a favor and do so. It really helps me in where I'm going. Like the video, share it, all that fun stuff. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, the TikTokies. And with that, I'll see you all in the next one. But don't forget, don't be afraid to grab that wrench and get after yourself. See you next time. Can we see that starting sequence on the running lights again? Because I didn't know that was going to happen, and it's so cool. Dang! There you go. There's the hazards as well. Sequential and amber. Cool. All right. See you next time.